So, Kodde Banange, Balamwisa, I'm sorry that I'm not there, but I'm making this pitch on the Toroke as a case study for value addition, job creation, and technological advancement of the agribusiness sector, a case in Uganda or also East Africa. My name Reverend Florence Isabirye Muranga, Director General of PIBID BIRDC, Bamama Toke, as Gavana Devandeta. Tulini content, introduction, status of value chain in the token, value chain analysis, building backward linkages to the supply chain, building quality management system, building a comprehensive business model, harnessing business opportunities, and government interventions. By way of introduction, I want to say that this experience is a very true case of going from concept to market. It was really a concept by a team of scientists, for which I was privileged to lead, from Makerere University and other universities. So it was really a science-conceived approach. And through our interface with government, we formed the PIBID project phase. And this constituted R&D, piloting, and incubation. This was very successful, and we were allowed for the to enter the commercialization roadmap, through which we formed the Ghana Research and Industrial Development Center. This required approvals from government for industrial formation. It required transforming the pilot plant that was set up into an operational processing plant. But it also required a lot of market testing, through which we formed the Commodity Trading Center to be the pivot of connecting both the supply as well as the distribution channels. This, happy to say, it has gone very well, and the plant is almost coming to the final commercialization. With that, we got also a lot of certification qualifications. The Commodity Trade Center is also full operational. We have formed dynamic supply channels to feed into the processing. The processing has developed right from primary through secondary into tertiary processes, which means that we take the banana and we give you a cake, we give you bread, we give you a biscuit. And beyond this, we are looking at getting franchises that are going to enter into the Tokyo Trade Center, and the framework of further upscaling, where particularly people like you would like to get entry points to be the industrial technology park that is being established at Trisha. This is what we call the takeoff. I want to declare that all this has been done with government as a funding theater, but the scientists have been the own most of the patents that have gone through this industry. And the farmers have been leveraging their produce. So it's been a tripartite partnership. of knowledge, raw material, and financing. However, it is important to understand why it had to be banana. Banana, I wish I could present this in so that banana is a produce, as you all know. Here we call it matoke. And traditionally, that was what we call the value chain for matoke. We get it fresh, trade it at farm gate using bicycles or transport it on trucks. And then we brought it to urban centers, distribute it to urban retail markets, and then each of us in the urban center will carry out their badge, whether you are 2 people in the house or 3 or 10, you carry your badge. And you can imagine the unquantified waste that went in that. So it was at that point, because almost 60% of our farmers were engaged in this produce, but nobody was making profit out of it. So we came up with processed options, and that's when government looked at us and said, can we work together to get the breakthroughs, bring this produce into the industrial domain. And the first format was to get the raw bananas into milling, packaging, and manufacturing. The second one is to cook it, because we normally cook the banana, and we found that actually it will also go through the same process and come into manufacturing. Manufacturing, we're talking about bakery, industry, starch, pharmaceuticals, soups, baby foods, formulations, and so on and so forth. So this is what we looked at the horizon as an opportunity. And besides, we also realized that when we start aggregating bananas in volumes, we're going to have a lot of spin-offs. We're going to have waste from peel and waste from pseudo stem. So we're going to have secondary spin-off industries, paper manufacturer, in industry, and fertilizer. So this really was the whole excitement that eventually pushed the funding team to go to the next level. Yeah. Yes, Jesus Christ started in Jerusalem. His goal was to get the whole world saved. So we said we need to start somewhere. We looked at 3 scenarios, linking the plantation to processing and the waste to the energy generation to power the processing. And this was going to give us what we call the coupling products to byproducts model, which is taking the waste back to value. So we looked at the processing that will give us the chips, which will reduce it into through milling into flour. And we looked at the processing, the byproducts, where we had the stalks, the peels, the wastewater, which we could put into the biodigester, get biogas, and this could power community activities. At the same time, we get slurry, which we can put back into the plantation and power our very, very proud organic production of the bananas. And this is a model we're trying to propagate. With this, we also looked at the value gap. What kind of value are we bringing to the farmers? The farmers we started were producing between 5 to 6 metric tons per hectare, and at most they will get at between 18 under 20 million Uganda shillings. Our projection through value addition will create the total value per hectare per year of 54 million. And this is really what makes it worth the while going all the way, because all this value was not calculated originally in the production. So with that, we needed to look at how are we going to get the bananas into the processing domain, and we entered into the supply chain development process. When you look at industry and you see the products on the shelves, there's a lot that often we don't think about. Value chains and some supply chains are very, very cognizant to the process. So we looked at, first and foremost, how can we ensure that the raw material is going to be always there? We could not maintain the traditional way we were producing bananas, so we have adopted a high value production where we're using water production through irrigation and fertigation, and we've been able to go from the 5 to 6 metric tons at our model plantation to between 50 to 70 metric tons per hectare per year. Besides increasing the productivity of the raw materials, we need to balkanize the farmers, because the farmers, most of our farmers work either as family or as individual, and this is not very good for industry, because you cannot go teach one farmer, you cannot go buy from one farmer at a time. So, because most of them are smallholders, we had to do cooperatives. Initially, there were associations, and from their coalition, they formed cooperatives so that they have strong muscle in the business space. These people work together on managing their plantations. They also train them together, and they also challenge one another to ensure that the productivity of the plantation goes up. As the volume of the bananas in the cooperatives increase, it is becoming increasingly difficult for them to collect from farm gate to farm gate to bring them to the industrial bases. So we discussed and realized that we need to form collecting centers. And the beauty is that these collecting centers also can serve as information centers. And then we have also realized that we can use those centers to bring the fiber machines for extracting fiber to these spaces, and the youth can be engaged into the extraction of fibers. And then we also are putting there small bakeries, because many of these areas, much as we are now producing a lot of new products, are too far to benefit from what we are doing. So this is the model, the collection center that we have put up, and the first one is being constructed in a place called Shuku in western Uganda. This whole setup results in a streamlined gender and youth inclusive supply chain, because in the Western Uganda especially, most of the plantation belong to the men. Now we have the women dressed up for forming the bakeries, and the youth into the pipe extraction, so that everybody can have a piece of the pie in their ambit. Then building quality. If you have a product and you cannot market it, you will not qualify it for quality, you cannot market it, so you will not have much value for what you've done. So quality management became very, very important. We found that in our quality systems, there was nothing about banana flowers. We worked with UNBS to establish the standards for all the novel products. And I'm happy to say that we are now satisfied for all the products that are on the market. Yes, we also do halal certificates because we have a very strong Muslim presence in our midst, and we're also looking at the Middle East as a very important market segment. I'm happy to say that in the process, we've been able to certify our plant for ISO, which means that we can bring the flowers to you in the US, and we're in the last stages of working out of this process. We have also been recognized in a lot of quality arena. Every year we are among the leading performers on the quality. So when we bring you this product, we are bringing you quality also. We have not only been recognized locally, but also on international market. This is our trade rep in Chicago with women who recognized us for this innovation. Of course, behind quality, you must have a very strong quality team. We have a very well positioned quality assurance space and a strong team led by Mr. Kulaga in that picture. And we look at the quality of the banana right from the garden. We look at the soil, we look at the fresh banana, we look at the dried bananas, and we also look at the flour before packaging and in shelf life. In the picture are some of the key players. Dr. Songo is the lab manager for our quality assurance system. We also invest a lot in capacity building. Capacity building starts in the farm level. So we develop manuals and protocols that we train right from the farming communities, and then we train the whole manpower in the processing, but in our value chain, right from the processing into the marketplace. Everybody must be satisfied for understanding the ISO processes. Then when you have got the quality, you have the capacity to manage that quality, you're ready to go to the market. So you need to have ability to do business. We went through this. We created a dynamic strategy for both local and international markets. That's why we are able to, we're already in the local market, and we are in the process of going into the COMESA market. But we also focus right from the word go on how we get into the international market. And this presentation is part of that effort. We developed a comprehensive business model And we identified the two flagship products as banana flour, the raw and banana flour, the pre-gel in banana flour. Now, the raw is the one you can use for baking. Often this confuses many people. The green pack is the one which can be incorporated in most of your baking. You can actually make your pancake without even adding wheat from the raw banana flour. In some other products, you may need to, if you're not gluten intolerant, you can add some wheat and you get the kind of products you want. Now, the token is our gift to you, the nearest you can have of our token. In fact, we are going to have like 3 different instant packs that we're going to bring into the market for you. One is this one, but we have another one which is being prepared through drum drying, and another one that we are going to prepare through extrusion cooking. They have different quality attributes, and all these are going to be profiled in the marketplace. The product range on the local market includes biscuits, crisps, soups, donuts. And donuts on the local market is our cash cow. Everybody likes the toke donuts and mandas. When you come back home, please look out for them and never let it go. Yeah, a cup of coffee, cup of porridge now always goes with a product from Tokyo. We also look for market opportunities and through our brand or token brand. We build end user profiles, and we have a comprehensive product development process which starts in the lab and ends in the lab. We have a very stringent feedback. We start in the lab whereby all our products are qualified for quality before they are profiled on the market. In that lab is a sensory lab, and before you is a simulation of how the sensory properties are carried out. We do develop new products. It's an ongoing concern. We get this through surveys to know what people require. Right now, we're about to launch the daddies because we tested them on the market and they were quite a big winner, particularly in ginger. Everybody wants the daddies. I don't know whether you all know what the daddies is. The third is creating awareness, building adoption campaign. We don't stop at anything to make token. We go to kings, we go to presidents, we go to cabinet, and we go to particulars, to this is King Oyo. Whoever we think would be a leverage, we go to them. We've been to South Africa in a very, very engaging portfolio. We have been before the president, our president. We have business, corporate people who also do profiling. That is my minister, Madam Senator of Science and Technology. This was when we launched in Ginger the tuk-tuk, which are giving the youth a lot of activity in terms of distribution. They partially own the whole process and get most of their money through the sales they made. Yeah, so we harness business opportunities also. We develop a corporate strategy to ensure compliance with obtaining regulations and those in the markets. That's why we have registered as a company, limited by guarantee, and we subscribe to the regulations, both local and international, for markets. So anybody wants to do business with us should have no concern. We have a fully fledged business plan as well as but our export revenue is looked at the cash cow for what we intend to do, because we believe that we all in Uganda eat enough bananas. We need, and this product is good for everybody. So we are looking at getting it across the globe. So we are targeting getting it in the East African market and COMESA, of course, but also we are targeting to get it to the Northern America, because we know there's a lot of gluten-free issues, as well as Western Europe and Russia, as well as Asia. We have profiled in all these the Tokyo flour as a gluten-free alternative. We are targeting consumers in bakeries and confectionery, schools, hospitals, relief agency, the army, as well as you, our dear Ugandans in diaspora. The distribution channels are really agents, direct customers, institutions or schools, and wholesalers. The tools include products, physical evidence, pricing, and promotions. Other products we already talked about: a new product development, the gluten reduced, gluten free, as well as modified starch products. Physical evidence, retail outlets, stock bakeries. We have done 7 franchise models that we're going to launch very soon. Pricing, going rate pricing for mass products, price scheming for premium and niche product promotion. We have done a lot of aggressive promotion, targeting the schools, because most of our schools didn't have a leverage to get good products, and we have taken our quality at a subsidized rate to most of our schools. So we have token clubs, we have in schools where we give back by training the schools children into business and value chain understanding. We do a lot of trade events and expos, social media. Token chef of the year. I hope if you are planning to come, we'll look out for our dates when we're going to crown the token chef, so that you can buy a ticket ahead of time. Yeah, so these are kind of the ways we leverage the token as a national pride and patronage, because it's grown by peasant farmers, and expand value chain opportunities. International market, which is where you are, really go through the same kind of channels, but I'll give you the details in the last slides. The tools are the same: product, partnership, pricing, promotion. These details are online. The international selling point, however, is gluten-free. Gluten-free is very, very strong, but also it is also a healthy product because we found that the banana flour contains a lot of resistant starch, which gives us a probiotic classification. It is, we are trying to promote it as organic and out of Africa. The business model is where most of our income is going to come from the two A and B are the flowers, and the revenue growth is as projected. Also, I've lost myself. Peter, I've lost myself. Yeah. Yeah. So the revenue are projected to grow significantly, particularly when we start delving into the export market, which we believe we should be in by end of this year. The opportunities for investment are going to be very, very clear for those who are looking at investing in the Tokyo franchise. Yeah, we need to give credit for government because they accompanied us on this journey. Yeah, Uganda government has made interventions, particularly for getting us into the export market together with all other people who have qualifications. By qualification, I mean those who are certified and have got the volumes to be able to enter into the export market. The PIBID is the advisory committee on export, which is heading in, looking at building away all the barriers that have been in the way for an average local producer. Of course, the Uganda Export Promotion Board has been there, but it's being empowered through the passive intervention. There is a trade frontier fund, and then the trade reps and the franchise. And just as I told you, the key issues of PIBID enhance export competitiveness, industrial growth through policy, lobbying and capacity building, infrastructure development, and partnership. Export promotion board, as I said, has been there, and it's been technical in advising whoever wants to go into the export market. It is under the Ministry of Trade. The trade frontier is a new one, which was really waged by the PIBID initiative and launched by the president. It's designed to enhance Uganda export sector with the goal of Uganda USD 6 billion in exports over the next 5 years, significantly boosting Uganda economic growth and industrial development. It means that it would make it easier for anybody who has got a market to access export money to be able to build the muscle to enter the market. The trade reps, another thing, is like when a child is starting to walk, traditionally you need somebody to walk them, and trade reps are helping us to find our bearings in the export market. I want to pay special credit to Dr. Olivia Kamanzi, our rep in Chicago, who is really helping us both in getting the quality and the positioning into the American market. Franchising is another aspect that we are looking at, doing special packages in different markets. This was done in Zambia. There is a franchise that was set up where different products from Uganda are located, and many several exporters are getting a lot of leverage out of that. Yeah, benefit generated, threefold: the country, the creation of direct and indirect employment, and promoting development of SME. We have a lot of bakeries and small processing units that are coming out of what we are doing. We are supporting government policy, especially parish development model in the area that we are working. Food security. Now, banana is looked at as a perishable food. It is stored. We have several metric tons of stored food, dry version, in our facilities for sharing. Import substitution and foreign exchange. Farmers particularly have benefited in getting a sure market for their produce. The farmers that are involved are able to know that when the bananas are ready, they have a market, and the price is transparent to the research or surveys which they participate in. We have visible indicators for improved household. In one area we surveyed, almost everyone has got a new house. Almost everyone has got a TV. Almost everyone has got, not everyone, every third person has got a car. This is the village in which we actually our industry is. You can see the transformation before your eyes. Yeah, what was before and what it is now. Environment, we are committed to an environmental health industry. Production of green energy is going to transform this industry into a green model industry. We have actually been nominated this year for the environmental award, and we believe we are going to get it because we started by getting the regional environmental award from the model launched it. We are looking at a lot of waste to spin industries. We are telling you about the banana fiber. Banana fiber is going to transform the way we look at wigs and hair extensions, but also textile. We're going to have specialized textile and a lot of other crafts that people are looking at. It wasn't possible to look at banana as a source of fiber, but banana actually contains better fiber than sisal, and this all has come through because of what we are doing. Water conservation and retention, the way we do it is we use drip irrigation, so we are optimizing the water uses, but also we are introducing the forestry into the banana plantation. We are studying models of traditional banana production and putting it back in Mitula and in Ikudu back into the banana production as as well as cover crops like turmeric and tangawuzi, which we know we are originally produce. We looking forward, at least 1 billion dollars in revenue, 56 million in annual taxes, and 68 million in annual profits. That's within 5 years from now, once the export takes off. Allow me to acknowledge His Excellency the President of the Republic of Uganda, who was a patron of this industry right from the word go. When the scientists were called by government, they required him to be the patron and to look after the money while they looked at the science and the business. And he has done it very consistently. Line ministries, Ministry of Finance, education, sports, water and environment. We worked with about 5 ministries giving us support from time to time. But above all, our mother institution was Makerere University and the partner universities. They allowed us, besides being professors at the time. Now I am out of teaching, but we used to do partial teaching as well as work at this industry. And I think it's a formative learning process. We have a godfather in Germany, my colleague, Dr. Esper of MSN Inotech, was introduced to us by the German ambassador at the time, and it's been very, very empowering. So I thought I should do some. Yeah, we have that topic. The Wasoga have been very excited about what we are doing, and because of that, we are pushing the first franchise of the Toke in Busoga. Both the bakery, cafe, they are going to be in Ginger, the Ginger Show. We have already negotiated that. And to this end, they have done that song. I want to close by sharing that song with you from